Welcome back. I'm going to show you guys real quick on how to disassemble the front door interior pieces, all the way from the door panel, door latch, window regulator, door glass, and even showing how to remove the rear view mirror. So let's get right into it. All right, the first step in removing the door panel is to remove the interior door handle bezel. You're going to be prying from the inside on top here and the bottom side of the handle. Then once you got this side popped out a little bit, disengaged, then you can go ahead and start working the door bezel out. So I'm gonna go ahead and pry upward and towards me. And I'm gonna hold that one in place and then pry downward and towards me. Now once you got this side disengaged, you can open the handle, slide the bezel out, and remove the bezel. And then you can remove your clip. This bezel has, if I can find my pocket screwdriver, this bezel has this clip right here that is sitting in this slot. So you must pry from this side and slide it just a little bit to remove this bezel. Do not pry from this side or you will break the bezel. The next step is to remove the window switch and the door lock switch. What you want to do is get your little prying tool. You want to insert it on the back side of the switch, and you're going to feel for like a little metal clip and pry upwards. These are the metal clips that you are feeling for. You just insert your little prying tool and push against these and lift upwards. Then you go ahead and disengage your two electrical connectors. Now moving on to the courtesy lamp at the bottom of the door panel. You're going to insert your pry tool on the side here and feel for a little metal clip and pry outward. Disengage your electrical connector, and that is how you remove it. So now, once you remove the door handle bezel, the window switch, and the courtesy lamp, you're now ready to remove the door panel. You have 8 total fasteners holding the panel up. You have one in the defrost, one underneath the window switch, underneath the armrest, underneath the door latch, and then 4 more at the very bottom. The one underneath the armrest is the one that's really hidden. It's all the way up there. And then this one is in the defrost opening. So once you got all your fasteners removed, you can go ahead and pry from the bottom right, the bottom left, give it a nice firm pull and work your way up. Now once you got the door panel disengaged from the door from the bottom, you're going to have to lift the door panel up and remove it. The best way is to lift this side upward and then kind of slide it out from here. So lift this side up, and then it should come right off. So once you got the door panel removed, I'm going to show you how to remove this molding. To get this speaker grill out, you're going to pry from the back side and pull towards you or towards this way and slide it out. So this is the back side. You have these clips that are sitting in right here, and then you have this little L piece that slides inward. So do not pry from this side or it will break. Pry it outward and then slide it out. Next, you want to remove this little tweeter that's right here, and it's also holding this molding. So it's just a little Phillips head screw, and it should come right out. And you want to pull upward because this little piece right here goes into the actual door frame. Then I will just pull this out and let this hang right there. It is time to remove the actual frame of the interior door. To do this, you're going to work from this side, and you're going to get your fingers behind it and almost twist this way, and then pull out and upward. So I'm going to grab this piece, twist it, pull, twist it, pull, twist it. That one broke, and then twist it toward the vehicle, pull, twist it, pull. So just a little bit of a close-up on these clips. You can see that they have this little groove. So that's why you want to twist and then pull upward. Take your time, be gentle with it. I broke this one. And then on this side, you don't need so much twist, but so much pull outward to disengage these two clips. So moving on to the door speaker, you have 4 fasteners holding your speaker in. You have 1, 2, 3, 4. You could either use a Phillips head screwdriver or a 10mm socket. Before removing those fasteners, I'll go ahead and remove this clip, and then I'm going to remove those 4 fasteners. So once you got those 4 fasteners removed, your speaker might be a little glued in. Just get like a little flathead or a little prying tool, and just kind of gently work your way around, releasing the glue. And then it should come right off. So now let's work on the regulator. Let's go ahead and remove the little protective cover. Be careful with this, mine's a little bit more brittle. Just gently pull it all off. And then now we have access to the window regulator, to the glass mount bolts, and the actual door latch. Okay, now that you got this cover off, you're going to go ahead and want to grab your window switch and plug it back in, turn the ignition switch on, and roll up the window just enough where you can gain access to these 2 10mm bolts. Then you can disconnect the switch again and turn your ignition switch off. Once you have done that, there's going to be 3 T30 bolts holding this left side guide in. So you got one right here, you got one right behind this module, this door module, and then one at the very bottom. On the right side, you got 4 of these T30 bolts. So you got 1, 2, 3, and then you got one at the very bottom. There's going to be a little cover right here. Looks like this. Just peel that off, and there's going to be one right back there. So let's go ahead and remove those. That's 1. That's 2. And that is 3. And for this right side, 1, 2, 3. And that is 4. So now, once you have your fasteners on your right side and left side, the window should be loose now. You want to hold the window and loosen these two 10mm bolts. Now once you got both those bolts removed, the window should be disengaged from the regulator. And then now you can work the window out. So I've been struggling for about 2 minutes trying to get this window out. So probably the best way is to make the window go all the way down and to disengage this knob from the actual guide. So now that once it's actually disengaged, I can pull this guide out, and then now I can lift this window out. Well, best way to remove this window, you have these two knobs right here, and then you got two knobs over here on this window, or on this side. You have to remove one of these guides in order to remove this window. The best way I found is to drop the window all the way down till it's almost at the very bottom, till it bottoms out. Then that gives you enough room to disengage the left side window guide. I pulled it out from the top, and that gave me enough play to move it over a little bit and work the window out. The next step in removing the window regulator is to disconnect this connector and then disengage that grommet. So I'm gonna take my little panel popper, pop it out, and then disconnect my connector. And you could just push this grommet in. There's 4 bolts holding this window regulator. You'll want to remove these 3 and leave a couple of threads on that one. You see this little slot? It will just help you to remove it and install it, just to leave that bolt in with a couple of threads. So now once you got all 3 of those removed and that 4th one loosened, this should come right out. Now I'm going to show you how to remove the rear view mirror. You got this little foam piece that you can just take out. Once you have that out, you can have this. You could pull on this connector downward. It's on a little metal clip right here that you can disengage the clip by pulling downward. Once you got that out, then you can disengage the clip. Once you have that clip disengaged, there are going to be 3 10mm bolts holding this mirror in. So let me go ahead and remove those, and the mirror should just come right out. Once you have those 3 bolts out, then you can go ahead and slowly work this mirror out by moving it side to side and up and down to release the glue. This is optional. If you don't need to remove this, then you can skip this part, but I am going to be removing this outside molding for this window. So this chrome piece, this finish right here, and it goes all along this edge. I'm removing it, so when I show you guys how to remove the door latch and door handle, you guys can see a little better. And also I'm doing a paint job, so it would just be out of my way. So this part is optional. If you don't need to remove it, don't remove it. But you got 1, 2, 3, 4 nuts holding the top part, and then you got 3 Phillips head screws holding the bottom part, and then you got one more screw right here. It's a Phillips head screw that's holding it on the side. Now once you got all those fasteners removed, this should now just pop right off. So you pull out and then up. Moving on to the door latch, we're going to go ahead and disconnect our 2 connectors right here and remove them from the door frame, and then disconnect our rods mechanism from the handle to the actual door latch. So let's go ahead and remove these first. Now, working on the bottom part of this rod of the door latch, you want to go ahead and get your little prying tool, and you're going to pry it from the bottom towards you. Flip right up, and then you can pull this rod out. Moving on to the top rod that's connected to the door latch. All you want to do is pry it upward. The green part should slide up, and then the rod should just come right out. Like that. And now you could pull your rod out. So now, once you got that little clip off the rod and slightly disconnected, you're going to remove the rod from this middle guide, and now you're going to just grab your handle, my hand's over here, and move it just a little bit, and this rod should fully disengage from the door latch. Moving on to removing the door latch assembly, we have 2 more rods to disconnect. Now we have this rod, this orange clip right here, that's connected to the lock cylinder. So if you just get your hand here, lift upward, this should come loose, and you pull the rod towards you, and now the rod is disconnected. The second rod is actually on the door handle. So this part is what releases your door latch. So you go ahead and just put your finger in here, and probably need a pocket screwdriver. Pry it towards you gently, and it should come right out. This rod that is connected to the exterior door handle is a little harder to remove. You'll have to get a flathead, and I'll try to show you to the best of my ability. Is you have to get this flathead on this plastic piece. There's going to be a little slit. You're going to turn your flathead to spread the plastic piece while pulling the rod. Got this whole assembly out. I can better show you on how to remove this lock rod. So once you have flip this plastic clip upward and it's out of your way, you will notice there's a slit right here. You'll have to get a long flathead screwdriver and stick it inside that slit and twist. You want to twist while it's in that slit. This will spread that clip on the back side of where this latch is. You can also loosen the 3 bolts on the side of the door, which gives you a little bit more leeway with this actual rod. So if you're having super trouble removing it, try to loosen up the 3 bolts holding the door latch. So once you have this lock rod that goes to your handle removed, it's time to remove the door latch. So you got 1, 2, 3 T30 bolts going to the latch. Before you do that, this small harness that goes all the way back here connects to your lock cylinder. So you want to go ahead and just remove this and then remove the one at the very bottom connecting to the door latch. So now, once you have removed your door latch, you have access to your exterior door handle. Our first step in removing this exterior door handle is to remove this lock cylinder. This harness runs right behind this bracket that is held on by 2 Phillips head screws. So now once you have removed that bottom bracket, these 2 Phillips, it's now time to remove this 10mm bolt that is holding that lock cylinder. And now this should twist and come right off. You want to twist it counterclockwise. Now to remove your exterior handle, you have 1 10mm bolt right here, and you have another one right there. Where your lock cylinder went, it's right above your lock cylinder. Once you remove these 2, then it should come right out. And there is your door handle. So that is how you disassemble the front door internal parts and trim pieces, all the way from the door panel, speaker, to the door latch, removing the window glass, and the exterior door handle. Of course, I showed it on the passenger side. The driver's side should be very, very similar. Of course, minor changes. The driver's side has a master switch, and everything would just be flipped because it's on the left side. But in theory, it should all be the same for the driver's side. If this video has been any help to you, or learning on how to remove the door panel to the simple window switch, or all the way to the exterior door handle, giving this video a like would be greatly appreciated. And if you want to see more content on my project car, I'm in the middle of a paint job, so subscribe to see more content on that. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.